Welcome back to another class. So we have looked at normalization, first norm form, second norm form, everything, right? So let's see what is normalization, and well, let's see an example for that. So the first norm form is data is stored in tables with rows that can be uniquely identified by a primary key, and data within each table is stored in individual form in its most reduced form, and there are no repeating groups. This is the first normalization. First normalization. Let's go back to our SQL workbench and let's use our JK table. Here, JK is highlighted. See, so we are using JK database and we are creating a customers table here with name, industry, project ID, project project one ID, project one feedback, project two ID, project two feedback, contact person ID, contact person role, phone number, address, city, and zip code. We are creating a customers table with all these columns, name as varchar, industry as varchar, project ID as in, project one feedback as text, project two feedback, project two ID as in, project two feedback as text, contact person as in, contact person and role varchar, phone number as varchar, address as varchar, city as varchar, and zip code as varchar. Let's create the structure of the table first. Then we can insert the data into this customers table. Yeah, let's see the table has been created or not. Let's refresh it. Yeah, customers table has been created with these columns: name, industry, product ID, one, product ID, project one, feedback, project two ID, project two feedback, contact person ID, contact person role, phone number, address, city, and zip code. These are the columns in customers table. Let's all we can let now the first norm form is it should have a primary key, right? So let's alter the table with column ID as int as primary key. Alter customers table. We are adding a column ID with ID integer, which is a primary key now. We are adding another column called ID with integer, and we are saying that it is primary key to the customers table. Let's refresh it. Now see where is ID. Now see ID is primary key and which is highlighted in bold. Now again alter table. Why? Because we should contact person and role is something not readable. So let's maintain this as a contact person. Rename it as a contact person. Yeah. Contact person role is there now. Refresh. Yeah, contact person. Now contact person has been changed. Now again add a column called contact person and role with varchar 20. Why we are doing these steps? Because the first norm form, what it is telling, data within each table is stored in individual columns and it's in most reduced form. So we are doing the second step. The same thing where we are doing all these things, contact person, role, and contact person. Now we are altering the again customers table. We are dropping the column project ID 1 and project ID 2 because we got all. Why we are dropping? Because ID, we got the idea already. We got the people's ID. Now we don't. Now what it's saying, data within each, there are no repeating groups. So these IDs are repeating, like project ID 1 and project ID 2. These both are repeating. And the same information is there in ID column also. So for that purpose, we are dropping these columns. alter table, customers table, drop column, project ID, project 1 ID and project 2 ID, drop column, and also feedback. We have two feedback columns, right? Those things are not repeated. It should not be repeated, right? So we are dropping those columns. Control enter. Now refresh it. Now we have dropped the columns of project 1 ID and project 2 ID, and also project 1 feedback and project 2 feedback. And so we met the first condition. Data is stored in tables with rows that can be uniquely identified. We also reduce those columns, and we have seen that there are no repeating groups. Now the second norm form. Now only those data that relates to the table's primary key is stored in each table. In each table should have only one primary key, right? So we have removed the project 1 feedback and project 2 feedback, but we want that feedback. So with that, we are creating another table, create another table, project feedback with ID as primary key and project ID feedback as a foreign key, and from the customer side table. Let's create this and see. Control, enter. Let's refresh it. Happen. And drop project ID. So here we can't drop the project ID stating that check the column key exists. Okay. Now we are creating another table. Let's see. Yes, we have created it. Let's refresh it. Now, yeah, we have created project feedback. Okay. Now we are altering this. Now we want the same first come form. We have to normalize this table also, right? So we are dropping the contact person and contact phone number from current person role. From customers table, we are dropping all these things. Alter customers table, contact person, contact phone number, and contact person role. So we are creating another table with contact person. We are dropping from this customers and we are creating another table. Create contact person with ID int as primary key, contact person role, and phone number. So only those data relates to the table primary key is stored in each table. So we are following all. There should be no intra table dependencies between the columns in each table. So we don't want to depend on customers table for contact person. So I said right, we don't want employee name to be in the salary table. Similarly, we are dropping those things and we are creating those tables again separately. So this is the third norm form. Control enter and refresh it. Yes, we have contact person table also. Now we have met the three norms, right? First norm, second norm, and third norm. Now, so let's insert these foreign keys and primary keys into those tables. Now we are inserting constraint like foreign key as customer person ID. If you want the customer person ID, from that we have to use as the foreign key in the customer table. In, so what does that mean? Means we are importing this customer person ID from customer's table, contact person table, so that in this contact person in customer's table, this column customer person ID will become foreign. I think we got it right. Yeah, I'll explain once again. So you want the contact person details in customer table. So how do we get? We have separated, right? Separated, right? Due to normalization, we have separated the contact person details in a separate table. So we want that person also. Who is that person? For that, we want to borrow from that other table, that column. When you are borrowing from other table, that becomes the foreign key. Hope it is clear. Control enter. Yeah. Refresh. Yes. Now let's see what happens to the customer table, right? Now contact person is also highlighted. It is foreign key. ID is primary key. Foreign key is contact person ID. It is imported, or we have got this contact person ID from from other table, right? From contact person table. Now we are dropping the city also. Why? Because already contact person table has city, right? Address, right? So we are dropping here and we are moving to that address. Put enter. And we are creating another table for this city and with zip codes. Same thing, right? Just what we did. We don't want the interdependable. So they should know intra-table dependencies. For that, we are removing that city and creating a zip code table. And from if you want the city, we will import as foreign key. City has been dropped from customers table. Now let's create a zip code table. Create zip code table with zip code ID as the primary key and city. Two columns in it. Let's refresh. Yeah, zip code. In zip ID is the primary key. Now we are altering table of customers table, and we want the foreign key from city as a foreign key, right? I just said, right? See, now when you go to the customers table, all the table customers add constraint. We are adding a constraint fk zip as foreign key from zip table, zip codes table, right? Zip codes table. Now we insert some data into the customers table. For to insert, the syntax is simple. Insert into customers table name. So all the columns, right? ID, name, industry, contact person ID, address, zip. Now values. So give values. ID from 1 to 3 or some other thing, and the name the person, which industry, and the contact person ID, address, and zip code. Some random values you can give and random data, and just insert some data into the customers table. Okay, can't insert into customer ID, can't add or update child row foreign key constraint fields. Let's again try. It is showing some error. Foreign key constraint fields. Okay, first let's insert data into zip codes first. Yes, we have inserted into zip code because we are importing data from that, right? So again, this. So phone number is too long. It is saying we have just specified 10, right? So phone number where carries the 10, right? Where it is that create contact persons. Where carries phone number as 10. So it is not. Let's make it as 15 here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Even 15 it is data too long for column phone number to one. We have created where it is where we made 15, but we haven't run this command, right? So that's why it is getting an error. Okay. So for that, what we have to do is we have to already created the table, right? We have to alter it now, not create again. So for that, what we have to do, alter table, right? We already created the table, so that's why it is giving an error. Table contact persons. So we have to alter which this person table and phone number. Phone number var 15. So 15 semicolon. Change phone number to contact number. Okay. So we are changing the phone number to contact number. We are renaming it and also specifying it WhatsApp 15, right? Enter. Now we can insert the data. With contact person. So we have changed it to contact number, right? Yes. Now the records have been inserted. Now let's insert this data into a customer's table. Yes, now customer's table has been inserted. Why we are getting errors? Because we have specified the foreign keys and we have imported the constraints, right? So first we have to create those tables and then insert these values. Okay. Now